My name is Bruno. I'm from Italy. I'm a GNH student from the fifth semester, third year, and I came here to Denmark to study at GNH. Um, it actually came as an opportunity. I didn't really decide to go to Burkina Faso. I loved the idea of having a place where nobody was going and going to such a low income country. It's in the lowest rank worldwide with yeah, all the natural hazards, for example, droughts, highest prevalence of malnutrition in the western part of Africa. So it was very appealing. I was in touch with an Italian NGO that is doing a project in the southern part of Burkina Faso. In terms of barriers, I would say it was mostly the way of living in that region because we were in the poorest area, which is the southern part. I didn't have water at home. Sanitation was very low. We could only eat staples and vegetables. The quality of life was very low. Um, I was not the only white man in the village because it was a village. There was the project manager with me. He's been there for 2 years for the whole length of the project. So they were already used to having someone from the outside, and also because the people working there were already used to working with white men. A lot of volunteers from the organization, so from Italy, were going to the village for a 1 year experience, and then continuing with their own educations. So it was not a shock for me, and neither for them. It was mostly about the language. The language was the biggest concern and the biggest problem because nobody speaks English there. It's a French colony, or it's been a French colony for a long time until the 1960s, 1980s. So everybody speaks French, and the national language is French, along with all the different dialects. But it was difficult, especially because you are in an academic environment where we talk about medical concerns or health situations, nutrition, agriculture, communicable, non-communicable diseases, and so on. So the language was also at a higher level than the normal chat. I will always be grateful for the opportunity that I had to go there because it was just perfect in regards of what we studied the first year and the third semester, which means intercultural communication, qualitative and quantitative data, and then the biochemical and nutritional part, physiology, so on, and specifically the food security and food insecurity part of semester 3. So going there with all the knowledge that I gained here was very easy to catch up with what they were doing and with the project. So, for example, empowerment of women through the gardening projects funded by the organization, and restabilizing the economy in the villages, and anthropometric measurements of the malnourished children, acutely malnourished children, all the zeta scores, how to make data analysis, how to make a survey, and how to collect data, and whatever teachers said was actually happening in the real life. So, for example, things that you try to take for granted are never taken for granted. So you really have to be specific and clear about all the goals and all the objectives that you have. Well, I took home with me that you cannot judge a country by the Human Development Index they gave to that specific country, because, for example, Burkina Faso is like, I think, the second last one or the third last one in the whole world, but I couldn't feel like being in such a low ranking, because people were extremely nice, extremely open. I have never had a problem walking around the village or asking for food prices at the market. I was always treated like a human being, independently by the race, the ethnicity, the language, skin color, and so on. Of course, there are problems that are related with climate change, communicable diseases, and also now non-communicable diseases, so like having a double burden of disease in the capital, so both obesity and underweight. But yes, definitely that you cannot generalize and make a standard for what goes on in a country just by numbers, because human lives are not standardizable. I've seen probably many things that most of the people will never see in their own life, from people dying to having amazing time with locals and celebrating, for example, the African World Cup until the semifinals and so on. But it changed me in the way of being more realistic about the world, and it actually means that you cannot change the world by yourself, and we just have to stop being naive about it. And you cannot change anything alone. You need a team, and even if you want to make a change, you have to build awareness and education first of all. And the other thing is that globalization is the word to use and keep on working on, because everything is just globalized in the way that every human being has the same necessity and the same needs, and it doesn't change whether you're from Africa or Denmark. Children want to have the same things that they have here, basically. Professionally, gained a lot of experience and knowledge. I don't know if I will ever be able to get a job like that, because staying in such a situation for more than 2 or 3 months, I think it would have been very tough, because you have a routine that is only work, sleep, eat. You're in the middle of nowhere, you don't have anything to visit, and you can just keep on working, and it's more a lifestyle and a ideal of life rather than just a career.